Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Beyond the School on video blog, and today I'm really excited as part of our focus this week on purpose and passion. I'm here with Mamta Saha, who will explain to you what she does. She's a psychologist, she's brilliant. We met at our yoga class. She's now in a different country, and now as soon as I thought I was going to focus on this subject this week, I thought Mamta is the lady to speak to, so thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
And I know we're in between homeschooling and we're just sort of like, so I really appreciate it, Mamta. Thank you.
Oh, you're really welcome. So yes, I'm a psychologist, and I mostly work with businesses and individuals, and a lot of my work recently has been focused on anxiety and coping mechanisms and wellness and mental health. And I've been doing so much of it virtually, which has been really interesting for me and a learning curve for me, but I'm really enjoying it. So
brilliant. Yeah. And I know that you've got so much brilliant wisdom, because we've talked so much in the past when we first met. And if there's people out there who are potentially maybe their circumstances are changing, they're looking at their direction in terms of not just work, but I think this week what we're focusing on is purpose and passion. I know this is a route that you've really followed, where you followed your passion. Yes. And you very much found your purpose, because we met about 2 years ago and you were exploring, and then you sort of unraveled, and then you're in this brilliant. Do you have any tips or suggestions for people in terms of mindset, in terms of setting intentions, whatever it might be, to sort of what during this time is to maybe sort of unravel the path a little bit?
Absolutely. I would start to pay attention to what actually doesn't feel like work, what feels like such an enjoyable task or activity that you are so submerged that you lose track of time, and pay attention to what that might be. So for me personally, it was spending time helping friends and family members solve their problems. And that's how I got to study psychology and be a psychologist, and then, go into doing what I do for corporate organizations. It was the joy that I got from, just working through complicated, conflicting situations and ironing them out and simplifying them, and making them better. So I would really pay attention to what gives you personal joy, and think about actually how could I turn this into something, into a role or into a job that gives me more of this on a regular basis.
And sometimes I think that thing you're doing, you don't even know you're doing. So to take a moment to pay attention to that. I know that certainly I was sort of one of those people, I am one of those people that makes the connection. So as soon as people say something to me, and I didn't even know I was doing it until I took a moment to go, that's what I do when I don't even realize I'm doing it. And it's so interesting.
Yeah, and it's asking yourself the question, and I do this a lot, is how can I turn this into a business, or what would a job doing this look like? And it's amazing, because there's so many things, so many resources, and so many vocational activities that are present in this day and age, and we are really lucky to be able to be in a place where we can say that and then follow through and work in that arena. It doesn't have to take so many years to get there.
And Mamta, what if that path isn't very clear? Because I think a lot of jobs aren't clear yet in terms of the way the world is changing. So you may be on a path and you know what that is, but to work out how that turns from your passion and what you're doing very naturally, which also probably becomes a purpose for many, might be helping others. Do you have any tips on that, and how you potentially take those steps each day to keep you on that path of exploration?
Yeah, I would... this is where having belief in yourself and your passion comes into it, and just knowing that actually this is something that I know that I'm good at doing. It doesn't draw from an energy that drains me. It draws from an energy that just feels infinite. And I would be bold and position it with people. So recently, I don't know if you've seen Louise, but I've created these affirmation cards for inner peace. Thank you so much, because I found that I was forever with my clients, just because I'd hold a lot of space. I hold a lot of a space for people that I coach of, texting them and WhatsApping them, you've got this, nothing is impossible, and this too shall pass, and various other things, and even the corporate clients. And they were really benefiting from that. Thank you. I needed to hear that. And I thought, how can I turn this into something? And, I've always loved affirmations. And so I decided to create a set of affirmations and get them printed. I designed and I got them printed and I got a bag made, and now I'm selling them. And so it's not even about a physical product, but it's about how you can turn what you love doing into a service, or or a product, you know. And if nothing's out there, that's even more amazing. I would say create something.
And I think also, and I'm so aware of this, I know this is something I learned from you the times we spoke after yoga and everything, is actually what you're telling yourself is so important. That's where these cards come in, is, you know, if at the start of the day you go, I can do this, or, you know, there are no obstacles, or I'll find the way, or whatever it might be, is to keep kind of reprogramming those thoughts is so powerful.
Yes. Well, before I went into creating them, actually, interestingly, I thought, well, I can't, you know, one thing that was stopping me, and I was paying attention to my narrative, which was, oh, people are just going to roll their eyes and think, oh God, there's another thing, you know, like these affirmation cards that already exist. There's so many of those things out there. And I thought, well, let me just look into the research behind this. And at the time I was lecturing for a university, and so I had access to a brilliant library. So I looked at journals on affirmations and the power of affirmations. Louise, there is so much psychological and scientific evidence and proof that affirmations have an impact on our immunity, our morale, our sense of self, our confidence, our performance, our motivation. It's scientifically proven. And that's what gave me the momentum to actually go and create. And now I can speak credibly about them, because that was one thing. So I think for a lot of people, they have fantastic ideas, and then they can be their own worst enemies and say, that's not going to work, or people won't really warm to that. Do a little bit of research, because you might be surprised with what you found. I've got pages of research that actually back up this idea that I had.
Yeah, this is exactly it, isn't it? Is actually that we can often create our own barriers, and this whole idea, and I love the fact you've got this research behind of what we are telling ourselves. And if maybe I'll ask Mamta, whoever's watching, is to share us a few of the cards throughout on Beyond the School Run, and I can share them with you all, is just how powerful that can be, both for our well-being, for our moving forward. That's brilliant. Could you share one or two of the just one or two just now that we can leave with people of your affirmations?
Yeah, of course. So one of my favorites is, so I've got one right here. Actually, my daughters picked one before they start their day. So I've got one on my daughter's desk, which is, my narrative is my choice. So what that means is that what we tell ourselves is a choice, and it may feel like a difficult choice to make when we wake up in the morning and we're already deciding, or convinced actually, that this day is going to be hard, and it's really hard, and I'm feeling really anxious, or I can't do this, or this is too much or too difficult. We can choose what our narrative is. So my narrative is my choice is one of them. The Universe Has My Back is another one, and I wrote that even before I knew there was a book out there called The Universe Has My Back. And I really believe it does, because when you feel as though there's something bigger than you that's actually there for you, it gives you a different level of confidence. And another one is
because you're also doing something as a greater collective. That's what I often feel as well, is you're not just doing this on your own. What you're doing when you're following your purpose, when you're in this sort of, is something so much bigger, so you're sort of within this, and that's great. One more, Mamta, and then if you could tell everyone where they can find you, would be brilliant. And thank you. So, and any final last tip as well?
Of course. So I have the wisdom to get through any challenges I face. So when I was writing an article today on how people can mentally prepare themselves as they go back into work, now that we are trying to return to a new normal. And one of the last points I've concluded on is, don't forget that you've survived this. So what did you do? How did you survive it? And I think for everybody out there, I guess my last final tips is often we've been in situations that have felt difficult, and where we have felt that we have a lack of clarity. Go back to those moments in your mind. What did you do to get the clarity that you needed? Our behavior is often patterns of behavior over a certain amount of time. So draw from your learnings along the way, and draw from other people's mistakes and also successes, so that you can apply and model the same behaviors in order to create the outcome that you need.
Yes, and then sort of get clear, maybe, or some sort of clarity on what the outcome you want to be as well, is sort of in terms of the intention.
Exactly. And I would say the cherry on the cake is, see yourself doing it, whatever it is you want to do. And this is a neuro-linguistic programming technique, actually. So it's seeing yourself, you know, doing what you really want to be doing at the end of the day, and then working your way backwards in your mind about how you got there
Yeah.
and what you to and what you needed to be doing at the time. And then the path doesn't feel impossible. It feels a lot more easier to access because you've already created it in your mind.
Yeah, brilliant. Already kind of live where you are, where you want to be, and then sort of create it back. Mamta, you're
Yes.
gorgeous. Thank you so
Oh, thank you.
People find you, your cards, which I just think are a brilliant idea and so important.
Thank you so much. So, so my cards are actually they're going to be sold on a website called London Organic very, very soon, and my website is launching soon, which will be mamtasaha.com. And people can find me if they want me to post cards directly out to them. I am Saha Mamta, Saha_Mamta on Instagram, so they can reach out to me there.
Brilliant. I'll add the links below, but thank you so much for sharing your tips. You're so gorgeous, and
you're very welcome. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the day and all the affirmations that are coming our way. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Louise. Take care.
Bye.
So good to see you.
Bye.